Hi and welcome. My name is Mary, formerly of Outdoors Mom 76. If you've been following my blog or my YouTube channel, my handle, I guess, my username is Outdoors Mom 76. But I'm going to be changing that. So watch for some changes to come. I've got some new things that I'm working on. I'm going to change things up a little bit. And I'm still going to do some posts about outdoors activities, hiking and camping and things like that. But I'm adding a few new things in this year. So I'm going to be changing the name of my accounts. So watch for that. One thing that I've been working on this year, I realized a while back that one thing that I've really been needing to work on is my spiritual walk. Just my personal spirituality. I've been a religious person all of my life. I've been a churchgoer all my life. And I've definitely checked off all the boxes. You know, I've attend church regularly, and I've been a part of the church life and activities. I've been on the committees, and I'm serving as an elder, and I'm doing all of those things. And I've done, I couldn't tell you how many Bible studies I've done and been a part of and led. I've even done some Bible studies on spiritual practices, but for the most part, most of the Bible study that I've done has been more of the intellectual type of work, and I just really haven't had a whole lot of spirituality as a regular part of my life. I've had spiritual moments, I've had spiritual experiences, but I've never really had any like long-term, regular, consistent spiritual practices. So I really want to work on that this year. I don't like to use the phrase New Year's resolution because I think that those kind of get a bad rap, because basically what you do is you just say, like on December 31st or January 1st, you say something like, I'm going to lose weight this year, or I'm going to work out more this year, or I'm going to be more spiritual this year. And we never really work on actually setting goals and sitting down and writing out the steps of how we're going to come to those, achieve those goals. So I've really been working on intention setting, and I've been working on making some goals and writing out some steps and doing things that are actually going to help me get to where I want to be. And so I'm going to share a couple of those things with you today, a couple of things that I've been working on. And I hope, you know, if you're thinking about the same thing I am and just wanting to deepen your spiritual life, these might be a couple of things that you might want to try. So the first one is just a regular old daily planner. Just a spiral bound, inexpensive daily planner. Nothing special. But what I do with this is I just write down all of the things that need to get done, and then I assign those out to different days of the week and kind of make a to-do list. And now there's nothing inherently spiritual about a daily planner. I've never really used a daily planner before, but one of our biggest excuses, most common excuses is, well, I just don't have time, or I'm busy, or, you know, just whatever. And we're all busy, and we all have a lot of things that we do. We have family and kids and church and civic organizations and activities that we all do that occupy a lot of time in our lives, and there's just a lot of things that need to get done. And years ago, I remember having a conversation with someone, and I was saying something like, well, I just really love to read, but I don't find time to do that very often. And the person said back to me, well, if you loved to read, you would find time to do it. And you know what? She was right. If we want to do something, if we love to do something, or if we feel like something is important in our lives, you need to find the time to do that. And so what the daily planner allows me to do is to just organize each and every day and to kind of have a time slot set aside for each thing, so that at the end of the day, right there it is, pray, right there, last thing on the to-do list, is every day I set aside time for daily prayers. And on some days I'm setting aside time for meditation. I have decided to set aside time every month for hiking, and I have set aside a couple of weekends this year to go camping, because those are things that I love, and those are things that are important to me. So I want to make sure that that time is set aside. And so the daily planner, I've been using this for a couple of weeks now, and over the last couple of weeks, I've been writing in, and everything is either checked off that I did it, this task is done, or I have to move it to a different day if we do get busy, and that's not a great excuse. But when something happens that doesn't allow me to do everything that I had planned for that day, it's an accountability thing. I have to move that to a different date, or set aside a different time later in the week to do that. Just to make sure that everything is getting done. So I have to prioritize. I have to go through and figure out what is absolutely important, what absolutely has to get done, what's got a deadline, and if there's something that doesn't absolutely have to get done today, but I do want to make sure I set aside time for it and reschedule that later in the week. So that's just been a good tool to help me organize my time and organize my thoughts. And there's space down here at the bottom of each page. You can put in notes and little things like that. So simple 3-ring, store-bought, nothing special, nothing exciting binder. But I just have found in the last couple of weeks that I've been using this, I've been finding that it's been really helpful to me to just schedule everything out. So that's one thing that I've been working on. The other thing that I'm working on is a prayer journal. And so that's just something that I can use every day to write down prayers, to journal some of my thoughts or reflections. I can make notes in here about my meditations. If there's something that hits me or something that comes to me that I want to write about, I have some place that I can do that. And I have a regular, like just a spiral bound notebook that I write in every day. It's just kind of my daily journal. And I kind of use that as a brain dump. Just at the end of the day, I write 3 pages. But this is different. It's separate because this is specifically a prayer journal. So it's kind of journaling out my spiritual walk. So you can certainly buy commercially just prayer journals. I was looking for some, and you can get some that have little daily Bible verses on them or little writing prompts on them, and some of them are 3-ring notebooks or spiral notebooks, and you can certainly do that. I decided to go with a 3-ring binder. So this is my 3-ring binder, and the reason I chose a 3-ring binder is because I can take things out and put things in. So I've been working on a little bit of a craft project this week to kind of make this unique, make it my own. I have this, it's kind of, I don't know if you can see it in the, it's got a little bit of a sort of fake-ish, leather-ish looking cover on the outside of it, so I thought it was kind of just pretty for that reason. But I added on this little Celtic knot, and I basically just took some leather cording and glued it on here, and this particular triple knot, the 3 parts here represent the Trinity, and then there's a circle that weaves those 3 parts of the knot together, and this circle kind of weaves through it. So I thought that was a really just kind of a pretty image. So I glued that on there on the front. You certainly don't have to do something like that if you just want a plain regular binder, but a little something extra just to make it mine is something I decided to do. So what do we have inside our binder? We have some tab dividers, so that just kind of helps me to keep different sections in it. I can kind of index and catalog what all I've got in here. And then this is just regular old like lined notebook paper, so I can journal in here and jot down some notes. I can write down prayers, meditations, Bible verses, and just write those in and then kind of insert them into the section where they belong. And then the next section that I have here is just some plain white paper. And so I thought that might be fun if I want to get a little bit more artistic. I can do some drawings or some doodles. Really, mostly what I do is just doodling. But I can do that on this plain white paper. And then I've got some plastic sleeves back here. And you can see I've already got a couple of things added in here. And this was just a bulletin from the worship service a couple of weeks ago. And you can see I usually take notes during worship services. So I thought I'd put that in here. And at some point I might take this out and write that onto some white paper, write down my notes and the particular Bible verse from that week, and just add that into the journal pages that I have in here. But there's plastic sleeves, so I can add in images. If I find an image in a magazine or a book, I can cut it out and add it in here. I can scrapbook pages, and so I'll show you some of that, some of the things that I plan on adding in here. So I bought some, I went shopping and I got some stickers. So those are really pretty, just little stickers that I can add on to some of the pages that I add in. And I bought some colored paper. And you can see here it comes in like 5 different colors. And it's just some really pretty, like, neutral colored paper. And so that'll be just a little bit prettier to draw on than just plain white paper. And so I can write down in here, I can write prayers, I can write down meditations or Bible verses if something particularly speaks to me. I can draw that in here. And one of the things that I thought I might try to do is some illuminating Bible verses. Ever since the invention of the printing press, illuminating manuscripts and illustrating Bible verses has kind of fallen out of fashion. If you're not feeling particularly artistic, you could certainly buy, there's coloring books. As the adult coloring book rage continues on, you can buy coloring books that have illustrated or illuminated Bible verses, and you can color those in with your colored pencils and your gel pens. But I thought I might try at least making some of my own illustrations or writing a Bible verse in the middle here and then doing some illumination in the margins. I don't know about that. I'll try it. We'll see how it goes. And I've got my little collection. This is just some of I have a ton of colored pens and markers and gel pens and things like that. So I'm just going to try to do some illustrations. And there's something about handwriting things. Since the invention of the printing press, you can cheaply and easily get printed Bibles. You can get them anywhere. You can get them at Walmart. You can get them at the dollar store. But there's just something about writing it by hand and using, I'm not good at calligraphy. I've never really done anything with calligraphy. But just writing with your very best handwriting, or try a fancy script handwriting and taking your time. So one of the things that I already have in my prayer journal is like the Lord's Prayer. And since I've been a churchgoer all my life and I memorized the Lord's Prayer as a child, but just writing it out, word by word, line by line, really had to think about it. And I actually had to pause because I could almost say the Lord's Prayer just without even really thinking about it. But once I started thinking about it, because I was writing it down, I kind of had to think about it. I had to repeat it in my head. And so really internalizing that and really going word by word, line by line, with prayers and with Bible verses. So this is going to be part of my weekly meditation time is just going to be to work on filling in pages. And I've also got my little sketch pad here. This is obviously well-loved sketch pad, but I can just kind of sketch some illustrations or some drawings in here as well. So lots of things that I can add into this prayer journal to make it mine. There's nothing wrong with buying, commercial ready-made prayer journals or just leaving a plain, simple 3-ring binder. So get it, but to me, making it personalized and doing some creative work in my prayer journal and putting some creative work into studying the Bible and sitting with the Word and doing daily prayer. That's what's going to work for me. I don't know what'll work. If you're interested in doing something like this, just give it a shot. It can be as simple as copying down prayers that you find maybe on the internet, or copying down prayers from your weekly worship service at church. As you see, I collect bulletins from Sunday worship, and I take notes in them, and so then I can just add those in here. So anything that you want to add into your prayer journal to make it uniquely yours, or if it's just as simple as writing down a few words a day, or just spending a little bit of time reflecting, that's something I'm trying. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to continue to make posts about that, so watch for posts in the future. Let you know how it goes. And I hope that you hit like and share and subscribe. And if you have any comments or questions for me, put those in the comment section. And I will be happy to read your comments and happy to respond to any questions that you have. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for some additional content coming up, some new content on the blog and the YouTube page. Thanks.